Very good morning to all of you, my brothers, sisters, and all the kindred humanity. I am from Calcutta, India, trying to speak to all of you regarding my feelings and views on what has been happening to our world, what sort of life have we been living of late, and how darkness has taken a grip over a bit of light that we have been able to retain even now. And in such conditions of life that I have been feeling, we have to pay some attention. We have to make our world, our humanity, uh, emerge out of the darkness, inundating us from all directions, mainly because of our excessive materialism, stark selfishness, crisis of mutual faith, and what we may call too much emphasis on physical comfort and no listening to the voices of our conscience or to the voices of our spirituality. What I mean to say in this connection is that our world is choked, rather, with all kinds of negatives in the name of developments, in the name of scientific and technological researches. We don't keep in mind how wisely we have to make use of the researches, the discoveries, the inventions to make this earth of ours beautiful place. Before doing anything good to our earth, before making it a beautifully arranged place for our habitation, we are competing with one another. Of course, the competition is involved between a few nations as to how to reach the space, how to make stations there, how to grab uh, uh, positions of significant power in the space, and how to control the politics of the world, and how to make this world go to the dogs, perhaps in search of a better world for some people, some societies in the space. This is extremely sad. As a student of literature, culture, spirituality, as a person thinking of myself a pro nature, a pro spirituality, a pro peace, a pro balance between nature, human beings, and all other creatures of this world. And that is why, on many occasions, I have spoken on topics of our interest, not the interest of only people from India or South Asia or Asia. My concerns always have been in reference to the entire humanity. I have always believed in the great Sanskrit saying, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, meaning in English is the whole world is ours. We are to the whole world. And by extension, or if I can go further, I would like to say that we are part of the universe. We mean human beings and all other creatures on this earth. The earth is not isolated. The earth has been existing and will have to exist in reference to the uh, inherent relationship or essential relationship for continued cooperation with all the constituents or with all the aspects of the universe. I have been taught, I have studied, I have heard great people, and I have had this conviction that we are the children of God. The God you may believe or you don't believe, you may not believe, but there is God inside you and me. There is a God inside all of us, and that God is our heart. The Viceroy, as John Donne had said in one of his poems, "Better my heart, 3% God." And in that poem, he had spoken about the presence of the Viceroy, of the real Roy, the ruler, the one who is the supreme creator, supreme maintainer, and supreme power to annihilate, if need be, of all creations. Uh, from that point of view, I want to share with my audience, wherever you are, in any continent of the world, in any part of the world, professing any religion, any language, any culture, that we are all one. We belong to the same family. And if even one member of a joint family is in trouble, the morality demands or normalcy demands that all other members who are not affected by any ailment or any trouble must come forward to cooperate or to help the afflicted, the suffering member of the family. So, any one human being who is capable of delivering more than thousands of human beings, then that human being is considered as a superhuman being, and he must come forward to have solution to the problems of his brethren, his fellow human beings. In today's topic, I have spoken about uh, stark selfishness and excessive materialism, and these two being in tandem with acute crisis of mutual faith, the causes of darkness spreading throughout. We see that the Third World War is hanging on us. We see that countries are fighting over so many issues. Fighting will continue to some extent because human beings live in a world that is imperfect, that is weakly structured. And according to the Bible, according to English poetry, and also according to the Hindus, Vedas, and Shastras and Upanishads, it is the design of the supreme power of the universe that we have to be tested. We have not been given absolute freedom in the face of our anarchical nature. And some of the faults in our nature have been left by our makers so that we are tested. How we go weakening our negative nature, how we go weakening our negative passions and strengthening our positive nature, our positive purposes. And therefore, uh, it's very painful for a person like me, and I think I'm not alone. Maybe millions of people are like me because you have good people, bad people, progressive people, or retrogressive people, all kinds of people, and then you identify. You are never alone. You have some people, maybe that you don't know them, you have never met them, or you have the least likelihood of meeting them anywhere because life is very short and you don't have means, you don't have resources. In this reality of our life, I would like to speak something about how we have uh, gone far, far away from our moral sense, our spiritual sense, our positive humanity, that we have to live together, and coexistence is the key to our living together unless we realize that coexistence is overridingly important for all of us. If I want to live comfortably, peacefully, without any disturbance, it is my duty not to create any disturbance for others, not to get into other people's rights, other people's domain of freedom. I shouldn't be uh, 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 an inimical individual or a harmful individual. If I respect others, and respect doesn't mean that you have to express to someone that you respect. Respect means you respect yourself. If you respect your humanity, if you respect your individuality, if you respect yourself as a human being, you have done your task. You have respected everybody else because it is said, and it sounds very convincing also, that do unto others as you want others to do unto you. If you behave in a society, in a family where you have to live in a relatively nice manner, only then you can expect other people living around you or living with you in a nice manner. It's like any general scientific principle that every action has an equal and opposite reaction. The great scientist that we are proud of, Newton, he told us so many things about the things that happen around us in nature. And that seems to be so true that if you love, then love is begotten in the heart of the one you have loved. If you have faith in somebody, that somebody has faith in you. So positivity begets positivity, enhances positivity. That can be felt by people, all kinds of people, without exception. Or even if there would be some exception, that would be negligible. So, uh, see the condition of the world, that we have so many ways to save ourselves from dangers. And the more we try to save, the more we move into the danger zones. I'm not speaking only about the possibilities of the Third World War or the conflicts that are happening, even in a society, wherever you are, in America, in England, in Germany, in France, in India, in China, you have people against people. In China, all people are not equally peace loving, equally law abiding. You have everywhere minority peace loving, minority normally selfish, naturally selfish, minority nicely educated. And when I say nicely educated, I don't mean educated in terms of obtaining certificates after passing university, college examinations, but educated in the common sense, educated naturally. William Wordsworth, one of the greatest poets of the world, had described nature as the best educating instrument. Nature's education is almost perfect. We need not go to universities and colleges to have non-technical knowledge. Of course, for technical knowledge, scientific knowledge, we have to have laboratories, we have to have experiment researches. But these are the added gains that we have had in our life. In order to be kind, you don't have to go there to any lab. You have to be uh, a good observer of nature, how nature loves us, how nature sustains us. And again, the same key principle of life, that do unto others as you want others to do unto you. So, everywhere in China, Chinese people against Chinese people. In India, Indian people against Indian people. In America, you see that you have some Americans, bad Americans, uh, they don't have restraint over their negative passions. They create road rage and they kill one another. They kill themselves. You kill others and then you get killed by the police, or people from the other side kill you. How long are we going to have this kind of condition, going berserk like animals? As a bull gets berserk and damages properties or injures people or even kills people, we have been worse than the animals on the loose, in the wild. In the zoos, we have tigers and lions and other very ferocious and man-eating, flesh-eating animals, and we have kept them under control. Sometimes animals, such animals from the wild, they intrude into or they come into the habitations, human habitations, and they kill people and do other kinds of havoc. And that happens from time to time. But human beings, despite the fact that they are certificated from colleges and universities as having been educated, having been trained, they kill their brothers in the family. They commit homicide, genocide. They sabotage the systems of transport and communication. They live in disguise. They go underground and then they disturb the peace. They live in safety, but in order to live in safety, they put other people's lives in problems demoniacally, satanically, and this is what has to be checked. I also want to share with you my concern about having this desire to have physical comfort or flesh comfort. See, internet I am using, that I am trying to talk. I don't know because I am not very good at or any good at using computers and all that. I have recently learned a bit as to how to engage classes, online classes, because I have been a teacher for the last 2.5 decades. More than that, also, I have taught students, thousands and thousands of students at the master's level, undergraduate level, and plus two levels, and hundreds of them, at least 500, 600 of them, have made headways in life, and many of them are very responsible, very good members of our human society globally. And I derive my satisfaction that they know me. Sometimes they call me on, sometimes they write to me, and then they remember me for being sober to them, for being cooperative with them, for being friendly with them, and for being like guardians also to them. I have always told them that don't go after money, don't go after any position of power, go after the nobility of your being as an individual, your humanity. If you are tolerant, you are patient, you are creative, you act or work as much as you can, and you always try to raise the ability of your doing more and more for yourself, your family, your neighborhood, your society, and the whole world. Because if you are a good person, you are part of the humanity, and humanity needs the increase in the size and number of good people. So this is what gives me satisfaction, and I must say that I have many weaknesses. I may not have been working as hard as many people do. I may not have been very good at traveling, moving from one place to another. I may not have been very good at socializing because I keep mostly myself to myself. And I always wish to have friends or people around me who are good. I mean, good, difficult to define. Good means the basic thing about my definition of goodness is that you are tolerant, you are non-violent, and you really believe in the well-being of all, and you do in that direction as much as you can. And I feel that madness lies in being violent, being injurious to other, being of the killing instinct, being of the thieving instinct, you become crafty, you become hypocritical, you speak uh, on the face very nicely, very sweetly. But the moment that person is gone, you speak against him to the third person. As I had read in a poem, and many of my brothers and sisters, many of my seniors, many of the respected human beings who live on this earth, they may have realized or they may have read and understood the import of that poem. That when we shake hands, we have smiles on our face, twinkles in the eyes. When we shake our hands with the people, then one hand of ours is engaged in shaking, while the other hand is at the back holding the dagger, and we have blackness of the poison of a cobra inside, but we keep a facsimile of sweetness on our face. This has been happening, and this phenomena has been thickening around us. That the criminals, the most damaging people, the most destructive people, these people, they are coming to the seats of power. They become dictators or prime ministers or presidents or the chairmen, chairpersons of institutes and all that. So most of the responsible places are manned by people who are destructive, selfish, and they do all kinds of things. Yes, I was talking about this internet. I had a bit of digression. I'm sorry for that. That this internet, this scientific invention, is of such great importance. But what is happening? Misuse of the internet. We have social networking, what they call, I don't know much because I said that I have just learned as to how to make use of computer, laptop, uh, in terms of the most basic needs, like I can send some emails, I can write some articles and send them to people, and I can engage my classes. They're the same internet and the social media like Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and all that. These have been mostly misused by the terrorists and they are nexus people, because terrorists, they become terrorists because of temptation. And what is the temptation? They get lots of money and they live in luxury. So in order to live in luxury or to continue to live in luxury, they go destructive ways. They don't even think once how to, you can say, how to be all right with other people. They go on the killing spree. You become a suicide bomber, and you have tied around your body lethal, you can say, bombs and all that. You get into the crowds or the malls or the places where you have hundreds of people. I don't have to say much. All of us have the experience, or all of us have the knowledge of the reportings on the destruction of the Twin Towers in America by the terrorists belonging to the slain or the killed terrorist Osama bin Laden, who was hiding with the help of the terrorists of Pakistan, Afghanistan, somewhere in Pakistan. And that is an eye opener to all of us, that those people who can disguise, those people who can be hypocritical, those people who can cheat and be excellent at frauds, these people are coming to the centers of power. And the law abiding citizens, good citizens, those who love literature, those who love science, that science which should come forward to solve humanity, to beautify humanity, to make humanity at ease with itself. And such scientists, they are not encouraged. Scientists are also bought and sold. They are put on auction as to how they could help the terrorists, or they could help the negative scientists who would like the discoveries, inventions, and researches to be misused for their own selfish gain. In this context, it is important for all of us, all human beings, even if 10% good people, if they are there and if they take a resolution to get united across the world, because good people have the power, creative power. You have the confidence in the heart, and you also have the blessings of God if there is any God above, because it is said that like Assyrians, when they came to attack the innocent people of Israel, according to the Old Testament of the Bible. And I remember one poem in this connection written by P.B. Shelley, and it was Destruction of Sennacherib, that the Jews were innocent, unarmed, humble, God-fearing, and hardworking, and they had been attacked by the Assyrians. But in spite of their being unarmed, in spite of their being weak, humble, physically weak, mentally, spiritually clean, they got the support from the spiritual power. That is why spiritual power to be has to be in the psychology. We don't see, but if we think that there is some good power for our defense, if we cultivate goodness in our heart, then that power comes to help us, come to take us out of the crisis if we retain goodness in ourselves. So everywhere in the world, in America, in China, in India, everywhere, you name any country, any society in the world, and you see that you have man versus man, woman versus woman. People talk about women's liberation, liberation of the girl children, liberation of the downtrodden, liberation of the subaltern. But what about those people who consider themselves to be members of the subaltern? You go thieving. There is a small farmer having not even 1 acre of land, and he along with other members of his family has worked so hard on his farm, and the crops are there, promising crops are there, waiting to come to fruition. And the so-called subalterns, the thieves, the murderers, the dacoits, the Satanic people, they go into their farms and destroy the crops, or steal away all the crops, reap all the crops, and hoard them somewhere with the help of the policemen, the so-called defenders of order and peace in society, and rampant corruption. Those who are those who have muscle power, money power, and power of political influence, these people, they crush the good hardworking people, the honest people. And when they get crushed so badly, then those who are to follow them, they they shrink, they retrace, or they find themselves in confusion what to do. As Hamlet, to be or not to be, that's a question. So such people come into confusion, to be good, to join goodness, to go on the path of goodness shown by the good people earlier, or to get nexused with the bad people, the violent people, because if you are with them, you are in majority. If you are with the good people, you are in microscopic minority. So the governments of the world, the good people of the world, have to join hands to at least minimize, if not eradicate, the evil forces. As Prime Minister Modi of India, he is generally supposed to be a good Prime Minister or a good world leader. Even according to certain surveys, his popularity as a good leader, as an honest leader, political leader, I don't know how much truth is inside this popular, you can say, expression or popular perception. I don't know, but I feel that I feel from what I have heard about him, what I have listened from him in the news and all that, that his intentions are good. That 1% people, they are bent on crushing the goodness of the 90% people, 99% people, and these are terrorists. They don't have skills, they don't have patience to go into hard work habit, and they want to live life luxuriously. And one more thing, that body, the flesh, the sinful flesh is answered all the ways, and the soulful spirit or the spirit itself is denied everything. You don't sit in an open ground, looking up the sky, thinking of the birds, or enjoying the beauties of the flights of the birds. You go to a cabaret, you drink wine, you eat beef or whatever, flesh of other animals, and then you get energy, excessive energy, and then you go, you can see what they call chatting on sexual sites, pornographic sites. And 2 days back, I had read some words spoken by the Pope, the present Pope, and he said that the Christian priests, or all priests, Christian or Muslim or Hindus or Jews, uh, and why only priests? But then priests have a higher responsibility to maintain dignity, and they should not go. And this internet, this laptop, the mobile phone, the moment you put it on and you have naked faces, you don't intend, because all of us are human beings and all of us are weak. And our bodies, you can say, pull us into darkness of the sexuality, or that sex is a very nice thing. Nature has given sexual feelings to males and females, and they should live naturally. You marry or you live in relationship, but you don't go violent. 10 days you are in relationship, and on the 11th day you want to have another relationship. You kill the previous one with whom you lived, and you go to live with this new one. This new one also you kill, or you get killed by this new one, and then you go on. What is happening? So I appeal to all the scientists, all the people in the business or connected with this internet and all that, that you please see to it that nothing pornographic, nothing that is extremely tantalizing, extremely seducing, extremely weakening even the strong person. It is said, we have read that rishis and saints and sages in the Hindu mythology, we also find mention of some of them. They were about to reach heaven. They were about to reach perfection in their meditative art or meditative function. But then suddenly seduction, and that is devilish seduction, or that is a test they are put into by the Supreme Being, and then you fall. So even the strong people, even the people who resolve to be on the side of, yes, you believe in sex, you live with your wife, you live with the beloved that you have, means you live naturally, but then you don't, you can say, transcend the limits. You don't go animalic, you don't become animalic. So I appeal to all these people who are influential and who have control over all these things, or who are instrumental in creating, inventing these gadgets. You please see to it that this is for our creativity. We should enjoy videos, music, things that are about our development, our well-being, but something that loosens us, something that makes us bad, that should be avoided. So pornographic sites and all the other sites, or whatever you call them, should be extremely excluded from the reach of any individual. We can meet on the internet, we can exchange our thoughts and views, we can sing whatever songs that please us actually. And that way, this world will stand to benefit. All the nations, all societies, all people would feel that they are the world citizens. Why should we be called Indians or Chinese or Americans or Japanese or whatever? We are all the inhabitants of this earth. This earth is ours. And when our population goes beyond the sustaining power of this earth, then we have to try together, and we have to explore the possibility of inhabiting another planet or other planets, or alternative places where people could live. And that way, there could be a feeling of development, feeling of movement from ordinary to extraordinary, or from something that is very commonplace to something that is special. But to leave everything to the disposal of the bad people, and that is cowardice. The good people of the world, wherever they are, have to raise their voice, because I already said they have power, they have influence. 10 good people can do, if they are together and if they are intensely intent on doing what they intend to do, then 10,000 or 10 million people who are bad, they can't do anything. They could be kept at bay. So, as a person, a student, an educated individual, having read something, having had some perception, I would like to appeal to all the world leaders, to all the thinking citizens of the world, that let us save our earth. Let us love our earth really. Let us have blossoms around us. What is the use of having huge hospitals? And earlier, out of 100 hospitals, one would be described authentically as super specialty hospital. But these days, in the streets also, I have seen in Kathmandu, because I stayed there for many years, and I spent most of my teaching career there, that you have a 5-story building or 6-story building in Kathmandu, and the first floor is occupied with shops and outlets selling momos and all that, or edible items. The second floor, you have garments. The third floor, you have some small restaurants. And then fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh floor, you have uh, uh, Bill Clinton College of Commerce and International Research Center. See, a research center, a college has to have a campus. It has to have an area where you have everything, libraries and all that. So in a rented building, you have colleges, high-rise building. You have so many floors are engaged in commercial, suppose you can say, usage, and the upper floors are used as colleges and research institutes. How ridiculous, how farcical it seems to be. And that is happening almost everywhere. Certificates are distributed. People working the whole day, they don't study, they don't even study 1 hour the materials that are in their courses. But they just pay the fees, correspondence course, open university, and all that. They don't know how to write even in their mother tongue, in Nepali, in Hindi, in Bengali. They don't know how to write even one page, good words, having good selection and combination, having ability to say something, having ability to communicate. And these people are given certificates, uh, and the certificates say that they are the outstanding people, students. They are the brilliant ones, they are the great ones. Means everybody's certificate says that he is a student of A grade, A plus, A minus, whatever. Earlier, the marking would be done in terms of numbers, 50%, 60%, and all that. Everybody scores 99%, 90%, and very few people know how to write even a page in English or in French or in German. I'm talking about in this part of the world. I don't have experience of what is the quality of education in America. But even in America or in Germany or France, if the quality of education is very high, very, very high, then there should not be terrorist attacks there, because certificated they might be, but they encourage terrorists. They encourage intolerance. Inter-religious relationship, all religions are the ways to realize God, realize spirituality, but we take them as distinct ways. We consider the followers of different religions as different people. No, languages may be different. Books may be written in different languages. Our dresses, our ways of eating, our geographical conditions may be different, but there should be one purpose, that let us live as human beings. Let us live as individuals having sympathy, empathy, kindness, compassion for not only our immediate relations, but for all, as far as it is possible. And the most important thing is that the criminals, the terrorists, the troublemakers, these people, they should be kept at check. They should be prevented from spreading in the poison of violence and all that. Unless we do that, there's no meaning of you can say, going to the space or having skyscraping malls and all that. You live on the 100th floor of a high-rise building, you seem as if you are hanging. You are hanging in the air. Okay, all right. That is one of the conditions of the present life because we have more population. But see, this situation is arising that you live in skyscraper, air conditioned, all the gadgets you have, but you don't have fresh vegetables. You don't have fresh fruits. You don't have drinking water. You don't have oxygen. What is the use of all these things that you have made? What is the use of lipsticks? What is the use of cosmetic items? And you see the ads, 90% of the ads are concocted ads. They don't talk about things that they are really about. They only exaggerate, you can say, the merits, and the negatives are far surpassing the merits. And you see that when a person doesn't have money, he believes in the basics. He believes in simple living, plain living. But once he earns money, and keeps the money unaccounted, that person becomes, no, he considers himself as a superman, a semi-god. And he starts behaving, wearing dresses, making use of makeup materials, men or women. Women smoking cigarette is very dangerous. Men smoking cigarette is very dangerous. In the streets, in Calcutta, in Delhi, everywhere in the world, more perhaps in European countries and American places, that you have women smoking. I don't say that men should go on smoking or indulging in drinks and all that, and women should not. Okay, but why men? Why do we allow people to manufacture cigarettes when we know that cigarettes are injurious? Why do we allow the production of wine so that the wine is available in the streets? Why do we allow people to produce blue films, pornographic films, so that in the nights or in the odd hours, young teenagers, they go to such places and they don't have any interest in studies. They don't have any interest in working in the farms. They don't have any interest in preserving and conserving our ecology. They don't have any interest in any work that is positive for him, for his family, and for the society at large. But just eating, drinking, and you can say thinking of sex, thinking of going to cinemas and pornographic events. And they go to cabarets and all that. What sort of humanity we are getting into? What sort of pushes we are giving to these young people? All of us, or many of us, remember one of the poems of Alexander Pope, The Rape of the Lock. And that was the social satire that rich people like Lord Peter or Belinda, these people, they don't have any sense of time, when to go to bed, when to work, when to leave bed for activities. They all the time they move around to show off their riches, and to make use of different natural things that they think as rich makeup items. And they gossip, they scandalize one another, they just kill time. Even judges are not spared in that poem. That judges, in order to attend parties, uh, 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 they, you can say, leave the courts. They don't understand the cases of the clients. They don't understand the cases of the advocates, and they write judgments. And just many a time, innocent people are ordered to be hanged, and the criminals and all that, they are let off. So Alexander Pope said that time is precious. If time is money, it is not money as such. Money in terms of that, time has to be used for comfort, mental balance, for thinking, right thinking, and for good progress of the world. So I once again appeal to the world leaders, the world people of influence and positions, that let us work together. Let us think of making this earth a heavenly place, or a nice place, if not a heavenly place, a nice place, a better place. And let us get off these sprees of fighting, killing, and sexualizing, Our teenagers, they become mothers. Teenagers, they become fathers. Live-in relationships and all that. Every 6 months, you have a new sexual partner. Is this morality? Is this spirituality? we have You have a house and you have another house, and how do you buy that house? How do you acquire that property? By having illegal money, that you do contract killings and you have lots of money. You smuggle drugs and you have lots of money. You smuggle arms and weapons, you have lots of money. You give you can say jobs not to the meritorious everywhere in the world, particularly in India. I see that those people who deserve to be teachers in schools and colleges, they are outside. They don't get the jobs because jobs are given to people who are the highest bidders. Police officers are made, collectors are made, and in some of the cases, it is less meritorious. Those people who don't know anything in the name of reservations. Oh, why reservations? Poor people, whoever poor, of this community, this caste, that caste, whoever is poor but interested in studies, such people should be helped financially, resource-wise. They should be given good places to live in and good atmosphere to cultivate their knowledge and wisdom, and they should be allowed to compete. In the Olympics, at least, we don't go by this, that, well, you come from that society and your society's population is this. So you get this number of medals because then you are represented. No, we have to excel in our qualities. We have to excel in our skills, and then we have to compete healthily, nicely, so that when we get something, we have satisfaction, real satisfaction. I therefore, once again, would like to appeal to all that let us lessen our selfishness. We all are selfish. We all want to live with our near and dear ones. We all want to have nice life around us. But in order to have, we have to make use of fair means. We have to make use of our efforts, our labor. We cannot rob others. We cannot kill others. In order to live life, we have to live restrained life. As the Pope said, that if you are a priest, you can't indulge in pornographic visuals and all that. You cannot think all of the time about them. You have to think of goodness. You have to think of godhood. You don't have to go the Satan's ways. You don't have to deprave yourself. You don't have to make yourself wretched. And flesh wise, we are weak. So, in order to strengthen our soul, we have to give answers to the flesh's needs as much as it is naturally all right. Otherwise, excessive indulgence in flesh and no attention to the spiritual, you can say, needs can do nothing good to us. We all will be dying and dying diseased way, mentally diseased, physically diseased. And this crisis of mutual faith, that why should we have 10 locks on our outer gate? Why should we have all the windows shut when we go to sleep? Why not keep them open, or at least only one gate to be locked, only one or two vulnerable windows to be shut, and there should be others in the open state, so that we get fresh air and we see things. So everybody is suspecting, even the own brothers. The younger brother suspects the elder brother of ulterior, you can say, designs. The elder brother suspects of the intentions of the younger brother. Inside the family, the wife and the husband, the lovers. So no love, no brotherhood, no sisterhood, no neighborhood. What sort of life we are going to have? What sort of direction we are allowing ourselves to head to? It's very, very saddening, very sickening. I therefore, once again, repeat the same thing. I'm sorry for that, but because I'm not satisfied that everybody has listened or everybody will pay attention, please pay attention to it, that we are mortals, we are weak, but we control our weakness, and we raise our height in terms of our goodness, and we live peacefully as brothers and sisters, and we live as human beings, and we don't give all concessions to the demons, to the satans, and we crush only the good people as W.B. Yeats had said in one of his poems, The Second Coming, most probably, that the best are hidden, they are cornered, they are all shut up, and the worst are at the center, and they are ruling the roost, and they are calling shots, and they are indulging in all kinds of negatives, and they are crushing the merits, they are crushing the good souls. That way, we will lose ourselves sooner than later. The world will be distracted sooner than later. Let us be aware, let us be alert, and let us get united to move in the right direction. Thanks a lot. God bless us all. Bye bye.